Hi there, I'm Michelle Foreman, but let me tell you who I really am. I'm a Christian, I'm a wife, I'm a mother, I'm a registered nurse, I'm a juvenile attorney, and with that, I mainly take court appointments, and those are appointments when a family, when they can't afford an attorney. And so I don't get paid very much for that, but that's not why I do it. What I do to pay the bills, I'm a real estate investor. So you may be wondering why I'm running for public office, and it boils down to this. I, like I said, grew up here and I feel so protective of my community, whether they be my patients or my clients or my neighbors, my family. I feel very strongly about protecting us and our way of life and the values that we grew up with. It's why so many of you have moved to our neck of the woods and why you want to be here and why you want to stay. I initially ran for public office in 2018. I ran for a position on the state executive committee of the Republican Party, specifically because I saw Democrats openly crossing over. This is, not making this up. They openly cross over and they help choose our Republican candidate. And when you think about that, it's fundamentally wrong, but why would you want a Democrat to water down your Republican choice? So for 4 years, I sat on the state executive committee and did some wonderful things there. I felt like really helped our party. Served one term and wasn't looking forward to doing anything else unless there was an opening. I'm not one that's going to run for office against someone just to run. I'm happy to sit back and be a good wife and mom and all those other things. But what I did see was an opportunity to, in 2022, to run against a Democrat. And I won the primary in that 2022 election and went up against an incredible liberal force in Nashville, Tennessee. I lived about 100 yards over the county line. And what we as Republicans were not doing is really pushing back against Democrats. We were talking about it, but we weren't really doing it. And I did, and I'll tell you, the full force of the Democrat Party, the new liberal Democrat Party came out so strongly against me. It was vicious, it was vile, and while I lost that general election, it wasn't by much. What I did is I felt like I exposed a lot of the dirty political corruption going on between these liberal Democrats and members of our Republican Party. Hey there, let's talk about political corruption. There is so much of that in government, in local government, not just in D.C., but right here in Williamson County. And that's one of the number one concerns that people have across the district. So let's go ahead and jump right in. I'm sure you've gotten anywhere from 5 to 10 of these right here. My opponent trying to make you think that he's either endorsed by President Trump or he in some way has his approval to run. He does not at all, under any circumstance. Now, he's tried over and over again to get that endorsement, but the president has told him no. He was not going to endorse him in the congressional race, and I have that on good authority that he actually told him to get out of the race, that he was going to endorse Matt Van Epps, and he did. So you don't know that. My opponent knows that you don't know that. So what he has done and what the special interest groups have done for him is to superimpose the president's likeness there with my opponent and his likeness, again, to deceive you. It's political corruption. That's all it is. Call the representative and thank him for standing with President Trump? No. He just wants you to think that Trump stands with him. The reality of the situation is, I was a Trump delegate for 2 election cycles in a row. I've worked very hard for what I've done. You know what? Let's move into something else that's corrupt. I'm sure you got this today. My opponent telling you that he is the only one authentic conservative in this race. Well, that's a lie. That's just a lie. So let's call it for what it is. Again, my body of work speaks for itself, but you're not authentic when you're lying about your opponent. Let's flip to this side. Immigration. My opponent houses illegal aliens for a living. He provides a sanctuary apartment complex in Houston, Texas. Does that sound like a conservative position to take on immigration? I can guarantee you that the president disapproves. Second Amendment. No. I've drafted resolution after resolution, and it's gone out through the Williamson County Republican Party to the legislature. Strengthen the Second Amendment. Don't try and weaken it like my opponent has. Pro-life. Let's read this. Only one conservative in this race has fought to protect the unborn and defend the sanctity of life. How dare you? As a woman, as a mother, as a nurse, how dare you call yourself the only one to protect the sanctity of life? I will say this, having been endorsed by Tennessee Right to Life in the past, they didn't endorse anyone 2 years ago because they felt like they couldn't draw a distinction. They reached out to apologize to me this election cycle because they had to endorse the incumbent. They said that's just what they do, and they're not the only ones that do that. How dare my opponent use that to twist, manipulate, and lie? First responders. Only one conservative in this race stood with first responders. Again, how dare you? Williamson County Sheriff, behind me in so many ways, voicing his support. So many law enforcement officers coming up to me at the polls telling me they voted for me. Again, how dare you lie on these mail pieces? And by the way, paid for by Lee Reeves for State House, Bev Berger, treasurer. Let's go back to that pro-life. Who are the pastors in the community that see this and don't step up and say something? The only conservative to promote pro-life and values? Protecting the unborn? Come on, church. You better step up. Infrastructure? Well, we all know Lee Reeves hasn't been in office long enough to affect infrastructure. I mean, come on. You know what's something else that really burns me? Those that have made such an impact in our community, especially in Fairview, two amazing women. Former Mayor Patty Carroll, current Mayor Lisa Anderson. They are almost completely and solely responsible for 2 emergency rooms coming to the city of Fairview. And to not give them credit, for Lee Reeves to take credit and jump in for a photo op, again, to make you think he had anything to do with that. That's corruption and that's lying, and you need to know about it. You need to know the truth, and I will always tell you the truth. Okay, so lying Lee Reeves, let's talk about some more. This is a fun one. Thank you, AI, for that nice shot. So, lawsuits, let's talk about those. During my 2022 campaign, I sued a political opponent. You bet I did, and you want to know why? To be defamed so badly, to be attacked so badly, and my daughter's school attacked. This was right after the Covenant school shooting, where the police had to come and safeguard my daughter's school for up to a week because of my political opponent. I can promise you, if he had done the things to you that he did to me because he was able to do it, you would have filed a lawsuit as well. I did. I don't regret it. What I didn't know is that we have something in our legislation now, a bill passed, and it's the anti-SLAPP bill. It was anti-SLAPP legislation at the time, and no one had any idea. Many people have fallen victim to that. And since this anti-SLAPP legislation has been put into effect, not one person suing to defend their reputation, their business, their family, not one person has won their lawsuit because they did not know about this anti-SLAPP petition. Filing every case filed in the wrong county and dismissed, well, that's a lie too. If my opponent had a license to practice and he knew what he was talking about, what he would have told you was that cases got transferred. Venue is something that we all learn in rules of civil procedure and even constitutional law, but again, my opponent doesn't have a license to practice, and probably maybe he just forgot about that one. In one instance, the judge ruled that this was that my lawsuit was part of a willful pattern to punish. No, not at all. And using the courts as a weapon, you want to know who knows about the courts being weaponized against them? Just ask President Donald Trump. How many, is it close to 4,000 lawsuits that man has been involved with? It's political weaponization of the judicial branch. Now, let me tell you, we've got a lot of good judges, but we've got a lot of corrupt judges, just like we've got a lot of corrupt politicians. So you think that this was done to me because I was a threat to the establishment? You better believe it was, because I have a voice and I speak out. I'm not someone like Lee Reeves who goes along to get along and has the political elite and the special interest groups back me. I won't do that. And so that's why they come after me, just like they come after President Trump. Williamson County needs a representative who solves problems. What problems has he solved? He's brought more problems. And that's what happens when someone from out of state who's lived in, I don't know, Washington, D.C., New York, Atlanta, Houston, all of these liberal cities, and then all of a sudden shows up here and runs for office and brings all of those liberal problems with him. Lying Lee Reeves, do not re-elect him. You want to know who's going to stand up for you? It's me. It's absolutely me. I've done it. He doesn't like it. He doesn't even know that the $100,000 sanction that went along with that is unconstitutional. It's on appeal. I want you to know that as an attorney and as just as a person, I've lost one lawsuit in my entire career, and it was because of the malpractice the judge referenced in that lawsuit. So again, if Lee Reeves were going to be honest with you, he would have told you that. And honestly, you know what a real conservative does? A real conservative stands shoulder to shoulder with a fellow conservative, a fellow Republican. They don't link arms with the liberal left that's trying to destroy the conservative movement in this city, in this town, in this country. They don't do it. So I can just tell you right now, Lee Reeves is anything but conservative in that regard. I'm Michelle Foreman. I'm running for State House of Representatives in District 65. Please come out and vote. I am the true, authentic conservative in this race. As you can tell by all of these mail pieces sent out by special interest groups and PACs, they don't send this kind of stuff out for the true conservative in the race. They send this stuff out to back the politician that they've bought. They bought the election 2 years ago with over $1 million. Only 97 votes won that race. They're trying to do it again. It is up to you. So the question is, do you have someone who is bought and paid for, sold out to the political establishment and special interest groups, or do you want someone who is sold out to you? Please come out and vote. We have got to vote for this win. Early voting is now through Saturday, August the 1st. Election day is August 6th. I'll see you at the polls.